I take a walk outside. I'm surrounded by some kids that play him too. I can feel their laughter. Oh, so what do I say? Welcome to another bloody, horrid, terrible, despicable, abominable, socially unacceptable episode of the bloody apocalypse. Congratulations for choosing the apocalypse, by the way. A bold choice. Myself and Death One had a wager. I bet on you that you would not choose the apocalypse. But you did, you bastards. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, one, I must be alive in your time, the time of the Rube. And two, unfortunately for me, I am that guide, your humble guide. Nicholas, so good to see you once a bloody gain. Now, people, I've been telling you, I did not want it to be true. I've been telling you, this is a Reich. These are Nazis. These are eugenicists. This is what I woke up to. Fox News, and it's from yesterday, or Wednesday, I can't remember. It just got kind of lost in the shuffle with all the shootings and things. I told you, Oz, RFK, Donnie, Leon, Greasy Pete, and more outside the government are eugenicists, are Nazis, are white supremacists. Again, son, I don't want it to be true. If all you've seen concentration camps, men in masks with machine guns kidnapping people in courtrooms, Home Depots, etc. Military on your streets. Your own military, that is. If that has not convinced you, perhaps this will. On Fox, Keith Olbermann let everyone know, I believe it was Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, I can't remember, doesn't matter what fucking day it was. It just wasn't today, okay? Because holy fuck, man, when you hear this, if you haven't, I don't know how you haven't. This is what it looked like. The pretty white couch, Fox News, all pretty, prim, proper, everyone makeup on. That includes the men. $5,000 suit, expensive dress, hair perfect, cap sparkling. And what are they discussing on this beautiful picture of a show? Well, they're discussing the homeless. And it doesn't matter what context you put this in, son. Fucking relevant. Way too many humans have wasted their time making context arguments with disingenuous people. Or having context arguments with disingenuous people. It don't matter the context. Irrelevant. Not that the context is damning to what I'm about to say. So this gentleman here in the blue suit was ranting about homeless. But then Brian Kilmeade, right at the end of the rant, involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. And he said it just matter of fact, son. As if it wasn't from the pits of fucking Hades itself, that statement. You realize where you are, son. Where that statement is made out loud on a mainstream news channel. Not some fringe bullshit that no one fucking cares about. The geriatrics watch this channel. He just says it in his high school boy voice that he's always had. Involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them. Like, just matter of fact, like that's normal conversation. Like that didn't come from Satan him fucking self, son. Do you hear me? I mean, I don't know how you people can pretend anymore to be into God and Jesus and family and all that. That hasn't been a thing for you people, since I was born in right-wing politics. You've always been scumbags is what I'm trying to say. And it's always been leading to this. And I knew that a long time ago. That's why I never got into right-wing politics. 'Cause for me, an educated person who knows history, it looks a little too much like white supremacy and Nazism and Satanism and the antithesis of Christ. So, I never got into it. What's that phrase I just said, which I didn't plan on saying? The antithesis of Christ. Well, involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. You have Oz doing the tour on the news shows, angry at the American people because they're unhealthy and costing the government money as if it's his money. That's a eugenicist. You have RFK talking about wearables, talking about drug addicts in camps working, talking about autistic children lists. Eugenicist, getting rid of vaccines that people need and want. Eugenicist. Donnie, Leon, others getting rid of social programs, housing assistance, all kind of things that will put way more people on the streets, son. And that's the point. A workforce, or you just die, whichever. They don't care, son. Do you fucking hear me? Again, otherwise I wouldn't fucking be here. If it wasn't that dire, son, I'm dead serious. My ass be sleeping right now. Again, the other gentleman just rant about homeless people, talking about how to deal with them, different ways. Remember, this is right-wing politics, so they'll all be evil. Kilmeade, I guess it's Kilmeade Revelation Day, like I wrote earlier. Because there's another one I got for you. Holy fuckity fuck. One more time and then I'll move on because I could spend all night talking shit on this. My God. There is a movement. Eugenics is not new. There have always been rich elitist fuckfaces who wanted a bunch of people to die. And racists that wanted a bunch of people to die that didn't have money. That's been a thing since the dawn of fucking time. Ethnic cleansing, all of it. Camps, slavery, all of it. Beginning of time. Always been. So solutions for the homeless, according to the high school kid, Brian Kilmeade. Involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. Any journalist that dared say that should be fired in the next 5 minutes. Son. No retraction, no apology, just fucking fired. If I was Rupert Murdoch or I owned a network like this, and my best friend went on the air and said that, I'd shit can his ass in 3 fucking seconds. Are you kidding me? We just shouting outright satanic dogma now. In the Family Values Jesus Party. How's about that? This was said out loud with enthusiasm on a mainstream news channel first thing in the fucking morning. Out loud, son, in front of the cameras so the whole world could see it. That's how comfortable they getting, son. And there's a reason they keep poking that kind of stuff in there out of nowhere. Because it ain't out of nowhere, it's always been there. They just haven't had a chance to put it out there yet. Then comes Donnie. Now they got a chance. Now you got Oz mad at the American people because they costing the government money. I know where that anger comes from. I know what his every word and speech means. I know what he is. And he's a believer. And so's RFK. And so's Donnie. And so's Leon. And Greasy Pete. And Brian fucking Kilmeade, obviously. It's Brian Kilmeade Revelation Day, son. Look, I know most humans in this world look down on the homeless, and I bet this sentence has been said many times. Oh, that we should just kill them. In conversation with people, which is disgusting enough, but it happens, and I guarantee it's happened millions of times. I guarantee it. But to say it on camera on a mainstream news channel as a broadcaster for the whole world to see in 2025, son. They're getting comfortable. The facade is dropping. Yes, there is a movement. They are Nazis. They are eugenicists. This is not Alex Jones, son. This is real. This ain't a drill this time. Holy fuck. One more time and I promise I'm moving on. Involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them. I don't even know how Rupert, who has no shame, can keep that man employed. Or whoever's running the station now. Because I'm going to take that as that they're down with eugenics and Nazism because they are not disciplining that person in any way, shape, or form. So they must endorse that opinion then, right? Right. Okay, Rupert. Okay, Murdoch family. I understand. I hear you. I hear you. This is Ron Filipkowski. Trump sets up impossible preconditions as an excuse to do nothing on Russia, including a requirement that every NATO member first join his trade war against China with massive tariffs. We are not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to read you to the point what Donnie's really desiring, because that will always come first in the statement. A letter sent by President Trump to all NATO nations. That's all in caps, so you better take it seriously, son. You hear this, Vlad? Well, the NATO nations, that's not Vlad. And the world. Okay, well, that's Vlad. That's in caps, too. I am ready to do major sanctions on Russia when... No, he's not. And when all NATO nations have agreed and started to do the same thing. And when all NATO nations, and this is in caps because this is what Donnie really wants, stop buying oil from Russia. As you know, NATO's commitment to win has been far less than 100%, and the purchase of Russian oil by some has been shocking. It greatly weakens your negotiating position, bargaining power. I'm ready to go when you are, just say when. I believe that plus NATO as a group placing 50 to 100% tariffs on China. He knows most of NATO isn't buying Russian oil. That wasn't the point of the message. Even though that part's in caps. It's here. 50 to 100% tariffs on China. Donnie's losing the trade war against China. He needs others to join up. That's the point of this message. That's it. He wants them to join the trade war under promise of, I promise I'm ready to do something to Vlad now. Stop buying his oil and blah, 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 even though hardly any of them buy it anymore. Oh, God. It's so just kind of transparent. He just wants help with his shitty trade war that he can't win. That's it. And again, you go in a trade war against China, unless the whole world joins you, which they're not. They need China too. That's where everything's made. I'm sure all the other countries ship their factories there, all the other first world nations. Of course they did. They ain't stupid like Donnie, and they ain't grifting like Donnie, I assume. That's why they don't have 150% tariffs on shit. I don't know. He just needs help with his trade war that he cannot win against China. When you go into a trade war against China as America, you will lose every day and twice on Sunday, and it's that simple. It doesn't matter what you do. We're at a point where a Fox News host can just casually suggest killing homeless people with a lethal injection on air and no one bats an eye, but MSNBC contributor gets fired for calling Charlie Kirk divisive. Indeed, that's the world we're in, where Nazi and satanic and evil rhetoric is cool. Right here, too. But lethal injection for homeless people, that's being preached. Divisive for critiquing Charlie Kirk. The man loses his job. But Kilmeade can say, yeah, let's just, kill the homeless. Problem solved. Oh, look, The Guardian just issued a quiet retraction a few hours ago for their fabricated quote from a high school friend about Tyler Robinson being the only member of his family that was really leftist. I saw this story yesterday and only the trolls were posting it. Every time I saw it, I deleted that or blocked that person. Why? Because I knew the story was complete fabrication the second I read it. This kid is not a leftist. No, he wasn't living with a transgender girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. No. God, the backflips you people are doing to try and get, transgender into this conversation somehow. Because you got a right to build, even the people on the street, they know what the agenda is. They know what they've been doing for 30, 40 years. So a story was going around all day and only trolls, only bullshit accounts were posting it. A friend of Tyler's said that he was leftist. Tyler was leftist. I knew there was no real source for that. I knew it was a lie. Look at the clothes the kid was wearing. The jeans, the American flag, home of the free, home of the brave. Come on, man. And that ain't a leftist, son. Can shoot a turkey at 800 yards. That's most likely not a leftist. It's so ridiculous we're even having this conversation, but we have this conversation with every single shooting. They try and paint it as a liberal leftist, transgender, alien from Mars. So the Guardian retracted that, but good news, it was a story all day yesterday. So all the geriatrics and disingenuous people got to hear it, and now they have it as a talking point, and they'll keep saying it for the next 30 years, if it all lasts that long, which it won't. That's the point of it. That's the point of smearing people in court documents. People know, people read headlines. They don't go any further. Same concept. Put it out there, take it back later, and be like, oh, you know, we just stopped saying it. So the Guardian retracted the he was a lefty story from his friend that every troll from Russia, India, and China was posting yesterday. Here's a screenshot of the original BS that has now been removed. Cox told reporters family member of Robinson who was interrogated by investigators said Robinson had become more political recent years. The family member recalled Robinson talking about not liking Kirk. Robinson was pretty left on everything. They retracted that because it was complete bullshit. But it was necessary propaganda at the time. Right, Rubes? And Philip Kowski confirms it again. This Guardian quote from an anonymous person who said he knew Robinson in high school, hasn't spoke to him in several years, who said he was supposedly a leftist, has been retracted. That's what they do every time. Fuck it, print it. We'll just retract it tomorrow. And it'll be out there, and you know, whatever. Whatever lie we gotta tell, man. That's what I've been watching for 10 years very strongly, and before that, pretty strongly. In the machine, the right-wing grift/terror machine. Have you heard of it? Editor's note, this article is updated on 12 September 20 to remove quotes after the verified source who attended school with Robinson said after publication that they could not accurately remember details of their relationship. Gee, that's convenient, isn't it? It was lefty yesterday, now I can't remember. We know you can't remember. Look, I take none of these transgender stories seriously. And there's another one they tried to pile on after that they still trying to run with. It'll probably be debunked tomorrow, I guess. It's already debunked enough for me. Look, I saw how the kid was dressed. I saw how he could shoot. If he did the shooting, which I think he did. And that ain't no lefty, son. It's that simple. And if he was a lefty, Nick Fuentes would be freaking the fuck out right now. The final words of Christchurch mass shooting killer from his farewell note. This is Philip Kowski again with a Newsweek clip that looks like this. If I don't survive the attack, goodbye, God bless, and I will see you all in Valhalla. That was the New Zealand shooter that attacked the mosques. And then remember, what's his name? Akash Patel, when talking of Charlie Kirk yesterday, the day before, said, I'll see you at Valhalla. It means something in this certain community. And Patel's part of that, believe it or not, even though he's not white. Valhalla, it has a meaning to these people. Okay, so here's the news story. This effort by the machine, and I've seen it time and time again, but this time, man, they were going way over the top with it. This is the only source for this story, by the way. Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler lived with his transgender partner. Sources tell me no, he didn't. He lived at home. Does he seem like a kid who had a job and money coming in and able to live and pay rent at another place to you? No. He had time to engrave bullets, man. And he sure could shoot, so I guess he was practicing that a lot. So no, he doesn't have a transgender roommate. He's not in a relationship with a transgender. It's just, God, they said transgender before they even caught the dude. Before they even knew who he was. Here we are in what, day 3 or whatever. Another transgender story. Just there's transgender everywhere. That's what the Reich would have you fucking believe. Do you know what a small percentage of the population these people are? And they're doing all the shootings and they're doing this and that. No, that's just a doorway into the Reich. You pick the weakest link to start with so they can get to you. Weakest link like illegal immigrants. Weakest link like homeless. Weakest link like transgender. Demonize, persecute, eliminate, and then move on to the next group. Just like the Nazis, because they are Nazis. Here's the third transgender lie. That's right, it was transgender ideology was on bullets. That was a lie. What was the other transgender thing? Oh, his friend said he was a lefty. That was a lie. They retracted that. So now we're on, what, day 2 or 3, and now he's all of a sudden moved out of his parents. He's got a roommate, and they're a transgender. Wow. No. Just another lie, son. That's all it is. They've been saying this transgender word since the shooting happened. Didn't even know who the fuck did it. Now we're on our third transgender or liberal allegation. That's already 2 have been utterly debunked. One retracted even. Oh my God. I can't believe, again, you rubes, you people that will never see this because I'm censored like a motherfucker. I can't believe you gave your country to this machine that pumps this bullshit out for you every time there's a shooting. Look, there's a problem with young white males being radicalized in gun-loving families. Let's just acknowledge it instead of fighting it. What a shame. And again, it's too late. You've given your country away forever this time. Not just for 4 years. Over. And you chose it freely. You gave it freely. Not a shot fired. This is Stephen the Ghoul Miller really letting his inner mind out. And they keep doing this lately. And the facade drops. And they say what they really mean to do. And they will do. I keep telling you this, and then they keep doing it. You will live in exile. The power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to fine you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you have broken the law, take away your freedom. Well, so we're allowed to take away money and power, even if they didn't commit a crime. And then once they're bankrupt and homeless on the street, we can possibly take away their freedom. That's the gospel he's preaching, son. And we know who he's talking about. Stephen's on one of those rants about rich liberals, liberals in general, etc. You will live in exile. One of the things I've been trying to tell you since this began. The roundups and deportations and camps, they ain't for illegal aliens, son. They for you. And again, this ain't Alex Jones in the Obama years. I'm sorry. I wish it fucking was. You will live in exile. Do you hear that, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, etc.? You know who you are. And then generic liberals on the street, dissidents, journalists, etc. They want to get to the point. They keep telling you, son, where they can do that to any U.S. citizen they don't like. Just like the Reich did. They don't like you, in a camp you go, son. Or on the front. Or dead. Those were your options with the Reich. These people believe it, and they want to do it too, and they are doing it. You will live in exile. Who the fuck is this cunt to say that? And to threaten that? Oh, he's a Nazi, and he thinks he's Goebbels. He thinks he's running the show. I'm not joking. He's the Grima Wormtongue in Donnie's ear all day. You know that. Not that Donnie doesn't believe as he believes. Because he does. Not that Donnie was ever a good king either. Like Theoden. Before he was taken over. You will live in exile. A Nazi who's in high-level government and has the president's ear at any moment and is shaping policy for this world and especially this country. Just said that out loud on a TV channel. Exile, money, power taken away. By who? The Reich, son. What the fuck you think you're witnessing? What do you think this bullshit on Fox News, you will live in exile bullshit is? These people fucking Nazis. That's not drama. I'm not comparing them to Nazis because they're similar. I'm saying they believe it. They are literal Nazis. They are white supremacists. They prove it daily. They want to jail liberals. They want to kill liberals. They want to end liberals. Shall I read it again? You will live in exile. Power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to fine you, will be used to take away your money, power, and if you have broken the law, freedom. Such proclamations from a mid-level ghoul. This is a Reich. They believe it. They think this is their moment. And they execute. Do you hear me? Be prepared mentally. It will get bad. You will live in exile as being screened. Not will indict and arrest you. You will live in exile. Did you hear that? Never forget it. Because that's what the Reich, not just Stephen Miller, want to do to you if you a problem in any way, shape, or form. Citizen, not citizen, irrelevant. That's where they're taking it. Get ready. I wish they weren't. Stevie just said it. And they doing what they saying. Sorry. This is Laura Loomer. I was thinking about this over the last few nights while I couldn't sleep. I have to say, I do want President Trump to be the dictator, that's in quotes, the left thinks he is, and I want the right to be as devoted to locking up and silencing our violent political enemies as they pretend we are. First of all, they're the violent ones. This statement is Exhibit A. They're political enemies. Again, the guy that shot at Donnie was not a liberal. My God, he was so MAGA, and he was so groomable, and that's exactly what happened to him. Not groomed by MAGA, groomed by someone to do something. And that is obvious in his case. They don't even want to talk about that motherfucker. The guy that just shot Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry, he's the furthest thing from fucking liberal. I'm sorry. So what imaginary enemy is she talking about? Oh no, just liberals in general. She's looking for an excuse. Laura's part, she believes it. She's down. You heard that, right? Who are these violent political enemies? Because, again, the guy that shot Charlie wasn't a liberal in any way, shape, or form. Even if he lived with a transgender, just knowing a transgender makes the transgenders terrorists and bad. And okay, maybe he's not a transgender, but we'll just say he lives with one. Loomer wants a dictator, as long as it's one she digs. And she wants to lock up her political enemies. Like Adolf Hitler. I keep telling you, I keep making the statement. People might think it's mean. I've been saying it for 10 years here and there. The weak-minded want a dictator. The rest of us don't. Why? Or why is that a bad thing? To want that? Because what Laura and the others don't realize, even though Laura's kind of on the out, she's only allowed to visit once in a while and hook Donnie up, and then she goes home. But I've been saying, you weak-minded people out there, you want a dictator, but you don't understand, and Laura doesn't understand. Because she has blinders on, whatever her biases, desires, whatever are. The dictator always turns on everyone. Always ends up coming after everyone. Eventually, just through sheer paranoia. How many kings, queens, Caesars, dictators have executed their entire, right-hand people just out of sheer fucking paranoia? Or maybe someone leaks something, or they're afraid one of them's going to kill them. So that's where the dictator always goes, and I know Laura thinks she's smart and wiser than me and that philosophy, and so many of you out there do. You think as long as it's your dictator, he'll be nice to you. Oh my God, you could not be so more wrong if you motherfucking tried. That's not how dictatorship works, son. Never. So Laura wants a dictator. She wants to lock up her political enemies because there's no violent political enemies. Again, none of these shooters were liberal that are relevant to this conversation. Sorry. This hand sign's been going around over the years, and I know rubes and people out there. It's just the okay, right? Right. Here's Charlie. How's about that? I know, he was just making the okay symbol for the picture. I know, son. I know. Oh, I got a phone call for you. It's Satan. He's calling you. Not Charlie. I'm not talking about Charlie. I'm talking about you, son. Who would dare just say Charlie's just doing the okay there? Who would dare even try it? I didn't know that picture existed. I've seen a lot of people over the years do it. I know what it means. I know what it's about. I don't believe any of the lies that it's an okay sign. So when I saw the Charlie one, I'm like, let me grab some other ones. Let's reminisce for a moment here. Let's see where this all began. Now they're a little too scared, a little too, I guess because they lost that second election. They realized we better tone down the white power shit. And then they just moved right to concentration camps and mass men kidnapping people and military on the streets. But they toned this shit down a little bit. So this is Roger Stone with a bunch of other white individuals at a bar, all making this interesting hand sign. I know, it just means okay, right? Right. Donnie. This was back in Donnie's first term, and boy, I'll never forget it. Cernovich and this other woman, I can't remember her name. What are they doing? They're just saying, A-okay, right? Right. Right, son, right. George Santos, who the party let know that, yeah, son, you ain't really in the club. You're not the right persuasion. You know what we're saying? George Santos betraying his own people. Look at him. Remember that? I think Santos is in prison now. Donnie didn't save him. Nobody saved him. The party didn't save him. Gotta have a couple million for a pardon, son. Mr. Santos don't have shit. That's why his ass in prison. And a lot of the other ones ain't. They had the 2 million. Kushner's dad. Etc. Fucking jailbird. Here's Nick Fuentes freaking the fuck out online. My followers and I are currently being framed for the murder of Charlie Kirk by the mainstream media based on literally zero evidence. Nah, dude was a groiper. He was into Fuentes, and Fuentes and Loomer and others have been taking shots at Charlie lately. So the groiper people, Nick's people, were thinking Charlie wasn't down with their cause enough, their same type of conservatism. He was abandoning ship or something. Because that's what I'm hearing why he killed Charlie, because he wasn't conservative enough. And again, this feud is documented. Everyone knows it happened. This feud between Fuentes' people and the Kirk people. Lately. After the left gunned him down, he's so scared. He's so desperate, and he's smarter than this. He knows it ain't a leftist or a liberal. After the left gunned him down, he says. The kid was not a liberal, not a lefty. Just look at the clothes he was wearing, son. You don't even need to go any further than that. And the way he can shoot a bolt action, yeah, that ain't a liberal. Not that liberals can't shoot guns, but there's a culture with bolt actions and all that, and sniping and shooting. Growing up in a Republican family. We all know what it's like. We all know, what it produces sometimes. And all I'm taking from this is Nick is scared shitless because I can't believe after the left gunned him down. The left didn't gun him down. This bullshit narrative Miller and Loomer and all these people are trying to, the shit they're trying to throw at the wall. They hope that no one's buying it, man. Again, just look at the clothes the kid was wearing the day he did it. After the left gunned him down, they celebrated and justified it. They said I was next. Now they are blaming me. These people are pure evil, says the Nazi. Nick's thing is the anti-Jew stuff. He really doesn't like Israel. So Nick the Nazi, he's not evil. The left that gunned down Charlie Kirk. It's just so preposterous. The left gunned him down. It was a gang of transgenders with Tommy guns. Yeah, he's scared. He's definitely scared. So one more time, Nick the Nazi, he's not the evil one. It's the left that gunned Charlie down and the people blaming him and pointing to the Groyper ties. They're the pure evil people. Okay, Nick. Leon Scum has gone completely out of his mind. He's ranting and raving violently by the hour now. I believe this is what is called stochastic terrorism. It is a direct attempt to incite mass violence. He even reposted a hit list as dangerous a man as America has ever seen. Leon says, either we fight back or they will kill us. What do you mean by fight back, Leon? You want to clarify that? You fat fuck. Didn't think so. Because you wouldn't be doing the fighting, right, Leon? You'd have other idiots out there doing that, right? Right, tough guy? I know. Yeah, I agree. Leon's just basically inciting violence. That's it. But he's allowed to because, he's the richest man in the world and all that. This is David Schuster. According to Utah officials and police interviews with his family, Tyler hated Charlie Kirk because Kirk wasn't conservative enough. Robinson reportedly admired Nick Fuentes. GOPers now scrubbing ex-post about Dems faster than DOJ erases Trump's name in the Epstein files. Well, that's brilliantly worded. And that sounds like, if that's not the exact truth, that sounds like the closest thing that I've heard. Look, the dude wasn't a leftist or a liberal. It's just ridiculous to say so. Don't want to be called a Nazi? Don't advocate for Nazi policies. That's a good point. That's what I forgot to bring up. He's talking about the Kilmeade thing, and I have a bunch of comments about that because they're damn good points. Again, these people cry that they're called Nazis when they spout satanic eugenicist rhetoric like let's involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them to the homeless. Yes, Adolf Hitler rounded up homeless, mentally ill people, people that what's that called? Survival of the fittest philosophy felt can't contribute to society, or just groups that the Nazis didn't like. Homeless were one of them. So when you talk about killing homeless or killing a group of people, that's what you call eugenics, son. Getting rid of the undesirables, no matter what definition of undesirable or type of undesirable we're talking. Be it an ethnicity, a social class, whatever. That's what eugenics is, class. I don't like a certain group of people, or, I don't like seeing them lay around on the sidewalk, so let's get some ovens going. Some gas chambers, whatever. That's eugenics. Let's take away vaccines, access to healthcare, more. There's only one logical conclusion to an agenda like that. You want people to die. And guess what, class? Again, I'm here to teach you. They want people to die. You can tell by the policies. You can tell by major Fox News hosts saying involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. Again, he's not a fill-in or a new guy. This is someone who's been there for, decades? Guess he's pretty comfortable, huh? So these people freak out when you call them Nazis, and they try and put in our face the rest of us out here that aren't in the cult. You call us Nazis, that's mean. We're not Nazis, that makes people attack us, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, your own people. But it has nothing to do with us saying you're Nazi. And what I'm also here to teach you is they don't get insulted by the term Nazi. What bothers them about you calling them a Nazi is that you realize what they really are. That's what bothers them. You realizing they're of Satan. You may not understand the concept of Satan or care about it, but they do. And when you call them a Nazi, they understand that you realize that they're a Nazi and they're of Satan. And what is it really? It's not good enough for these people that we're all sitting back and watching the end of our nation and the subjugation of the population and the dystopian nightmare take shape. They want you to not even talk about it. They want you so complacent and scared to criticize that you won't even dare call them Nazis when they literally are. Oh, that sounds like eugenics to me. That's a policy of the Nazis. Involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. Says a cunt news host in a $5,000 suit. For lying. Every day, all day. And now spouting eugenicist Nazi rhetoric. Comfortably. Matter-of-factly. You best start believing, son, what you living in. It doesn't matter if you believe it, accept it, acknowledge it, understand it. It is happening. You best recognize. If you need, this is Jim Stewartson. If you need any more proof Elon Musk is a stone-cold Nazi, this is the ultimate Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. Well, yeah, the way I put it, Jim puts it that way. I put it inversion of reality, straight inversion, where a pedophile goes around calling other people pedophiles. Pure projection, straight inversion. And we have that situation going on, don't we? We've had it for a long time now. One pedophile in particular has been going around for 10 years. His machine, run by Vlad and others here in this country, that word pedo for the past 10, 20 years, my God. Inversion of reality, that is what Jim Stewartson is talking about. That is a necessary tactic when you are involved in nefarious activity against people. If you don't invert reality, if you don't try and move the Overton window like Greasy Pete says, if you don't try and flip good and evil and preach evil as if it were good, you won't make your goal, which is full Reich, of course. 1,000 years, son. Hitler appropriated the word socialism as a way to erase it. Indeed, well, I learned in my history research, Hitler wanted the trade unionists and the socialists to join his movement. So he put the word socialist in his movement. Never once was it a socialist movement or liberal movement. It was a right-wing nationalist, white supremacist movement until it became a straight-up dictatorship, Reich, whatever Adolf says goes. That's it. There wasn't no socialism, son. No liberalism, no tolerance, no nothing. Just Satan. That's all. Dictatorship. That's what Donnie's building. That's what Bukele built, and others. Hitler banned the Democratic Socialist Party and sent them to concentration camps. Indeed, the liberals were the first locked up. trade unionists, all that. Tried to entice them, they didn't bite. Okay, I'll just send you to camps. Fuck you. That's going to happen here. I've been saying it since he got reelected. All this stuff's going to happen. What they promised, what they talked about before the election, yeah, all that's going to happen. Look how much of it already has, son. Can you believe it? This is Leon again. I've noticed Greasy Pete and Leon have been on that kick the past couple years. They've been really kind of pushing the Hitler was a socialist thing because they need to get rid of liberals here and now. And the right-wing political machine has been using it on you fools that have your name on this and that have been right-wingers for so many years. Since 1945 saying commie, socialist, blah, blah, because they know that links to Hitler and others. And now you link all liberals to that. How sad for you. Because guess who's Hitler? You, son. That's why I'm here to tell you. And to guide the good people through it. You're Hitler. You know why? Because you made Hitler happen. He is an expression of you. And Leon and Greasy Pete really need you to not notice that he's Hitler. So here's Leon. The greatest lie of our time is pretending that Hitler's National Socialists were right-wing, all socialists are left-wing. No. The flaw in the argument there is Hitler wasn't a socialist. Right-wing nationalist. To start off with, white supremacist, fascist. That's it. But they need to make this argument. Leon says true. That was someone else that said that. No, Hitler wasn't a socialist. Sorry. Vlad isn't a communist. Vlad's a mobster. He takes what he wants when he wants. That's it. That's the only rule. And he's in charge. That's it. That's not communism. That's not living like as if people that lived in a commune. That's the mob stealing everything at the top and no one else gets shit. That's what America's turning into faster than you can believe, son. And again, before the election, I begged you not to turn the country into Russia. Putting a mob in charge. Worse than a mob. These are Nazis. They believe it. I'm sorry. I know it sounds crazy. It shouldn't. When Leon did the Nazi salute, day one, son. And then Donnie did his July 4th. It really shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be a stretch. I almost sigh every time I say the word Nazi, and I think to myself, I have to say this again. Because again, it's not a comparison. They actually are. And they prove it every second of every day. And they're making arguments that Hitler was a socialist. I know, Rubes. One guy having everything and 9 million people having nothing. That's a better system than socialism. I know. Right? That's the Jesus way, right? No, Jesus lived commune style with his apostles. Shared purse of money for all of them. Commune. Doesn't quite fit in the capitalist American exceptionalism narrative you've been getting since 1945 from your fucking sad-ass granddaddy, daddy, down to you. Same old bullshit. Yeah, Hitler banned the Democratic Socialist Party and sent them to camps. So was Hitler a socialist class? I guess not. Or his ass would have been in a camp, huh? Huh, Leon? Huh, Greasy Pete? I wrote about how the richest man is not just creating an alternate reality, but an alternate history. Indeed, yes, they're rewriting history. And they're, again, I've heard this argument by many conservatives and others, and they damn well know what argument they're making. When you're covering for Hitler, trying to say he was a socialist, that tells me something about you, son. You know what it tells me? You're a Nazi. Real simple. That's the giveaway. Again, this is Jim Stewartson. Hitler was not a communist or a socialist. I'm glad I found this today. I've been saying this stuff for fucking years in my own way. He says it in a different way. Like Hitler, Musk is an expansionist fascist demagogue who is pushing for the big trade, which would divide up the world into a Russian Empire, North American Reich. So this is not just about creating an alternate reality, but creating an alternate history, a history that justifies his pathological greed and messianic narcissism. Jim Stewartson, Hitler was a communist. The Overton window is a funhouse mirror. It's funny how Jim uses that phrase, Overton window, and he has studied Greasy Pete for a long time, and Leon and others. Knows a lot of history. He's a smart guy. The Overton window. Look, let me simplify all this. Throughout history, there have been sociopaths that have risen close to the top or to the top of society. And their serious desire is to rule the entire world. Many kings have tried and empires have tried. But today, with technology, AI, drones, robot, all kind of different shit, it is now possible to have one global leader, one global Reich, whatever, one global godlike figure for the cultists, for those destined for the lake. It's possible now due to modern technology. And you don't even need humans. AI can be omnipresent and police and listen and surveil and monitor and deploy. Once that's set up, man, forget about it. Already forget about it. It's too late. They ain't ever given power back, son. I hope you know that. He staged a coup last time. You got Stephen Goebbels Miller on the air yelling he's going to exile people. Do you fucking hear me, son? Do you see where this is going? You got Leon and Greasy Pete making the same argument I've heard from right-wingers for fucking years, because they don't want you to understand. They don't want the general population to ever equate Adolf Hitler with right-wing nationalism and white supremacy, because that's what they're doing. They want you to equate liberalism with the Nazis, with the fascist dictators that call themselves communists. That's why they've been pounding it into your head since before my mother was born. A shame that's all it takes for them to keep saying it. Because a 5-minute history lesson, you'd understand that Hitler was never a socialist, communist, any of that shit. You'd understand Vlad's not a communist. You'd understand Xi's not a communist. True commune-style living, I've said this many times. All resources are shared. There is no rich, there is no poor, there is no middle class. There is only a citizen with a roof and food. Everybody gets some. Everybody works. Everybody gets some. Real simple concept. Unfortunately, greed is a thing. And we have men that want to rule the world. We have men that want all the treasure for themselves. We've had them since the beginning of time. Again, a simplification of what Jim's trying to say. Throughout history, there's just been people that want to rule the world. Alexander, the Caesars, the Pharaohs, Donnie Shitbags, Leon. They are the same person. I keep telling you that. They both have the same desire to be worshipped, to run the world. You know, just typical sociopath shit. Napoleon shit. That's really, when you reduce it all down, there are just some men that are so narcissistic, sociopathic, God complex, they think, they believe it, son. They have the right to rule the entire world. That's what we're dealing with Donnie and Leon. Those people come along every once in a while and get in power. Like Adolf, Napoleon. Every now and then, we're in one of those times. One of those Hitler times. Where the whole world has already been changed, and it's going to change a lot damn more, and a lot of people are going to die. And a Reich is being built, an evil empire. Laura Loomer is calling for transgender people to be labeled as terrorists. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah. It's being reported Tyler Robinson, the man who assassinated Charlie Kirk, was living with his transgender boyfriend who was transitioning into a woman. Trans people are a national security threat. Their movement needs to be classified as a terrorist organization immediately. Why the transgender? Again, because no one cares about that group. Like no one cares about the illegal immigrants. Like no one cares about the homeless. We're moving on to third group territory. All designed to get to you, son. So if Mr. Robinson, this is the logic, but Laura's a Nazi too, and she understands what agenda they're trying to achieve. That's what she's doing here. She's not this stupid. This isn't just stupidity. Don't ever think that. So this is the logic she's putting before the rubes, hoping that they can build their Reich further and that she can have a nice part in it. If this kid lived with a transgender and was having a relationship, that all of a sudden makes transgenders evil, even though the transgender didn't shoot the person. The white male did. The non-transgender white male shot the person. But the problem in this mix, Charlie Kirk, white male, and transgender, the problem was the transgender sitting at home. Or is the new narrative going to be the transgender was the one that made him go do this in defense of them or something? Is that where we're going? Again, I understand what all this is. Laura's part of the thing. She has access to Donnie. She's up there. She's helping them with their agenda. Illegal aliens, homeless, transgender. What group's next? Maybe you. Do you understand now? That's what Laura's trying to do here. She's not this dumb. Don't ever think that. A terrorist organization. Let's say that was even true. He was living with a transgender. Why is the transgender guilty? They didn't shoot the person. Why are the transgenders the terrorists? The transgender didn't leave the house and shoot the person. Again, they're trying to build something. They're trying to paint a portrait for you. They're trying to get rid of groups they don't like. So eventually they can get to you. They're making lists of people that say things about Charlie Kirk online. I am not joking. There's a whole website. And they're calling their employers if they can find out who they are and getting them fired. It's a whole movement. This shit is way over the top. This is Benny Johnson, the two-time plagiarist and known, verified, paid shill for Russia. This is what he has to say. This is 100% confirmed. No, it isn't, Benny. Charlie Kirk killer Tyler Robinson had a boyfriend who identified as transgender. This man is cooperating with the FBI, has turned over all electronics messages. I'm hearing there's much more to come. Yes, this is now officially trans violence. Again, the trans person didn't shoot the gun. And they still running with it. It's incredible. And they still made it up. It's not even true. Wait a minute, the shooter who grew up in a Republican family and can shoot a turkey at 2,000 yards with his bolt action, he's dating a transgender, so it's the transgender that's evil. Even though they didn't shoot the gun. Not that the transgender exists. Total bullshit. Again, this guy's a two-time plagiarist and a paid shill for Russia. I'm going to fucking believe this? After the word transgender, I swear, what went by 5 minutes after Charlie was killed before the word transgender was being thrown around by the machine, the right-wing grift / terror machine, which includes Vlad and all the people here that take part, and the troll farms and the public relations firms, all of it. Then it was transgender ideology on the bullets. That turned out to be utter fabrication. Now it's transgender. Oh, then it was, a schoolmate said he had become a lefty. Then that got retracted, so that was a lie. Now we're at transgender roommate who he was in a relationship with. They went for the 3-point shot, son, from half court with this shit. Oh my God. Well, the first two were a lie, so what's this one going to be, class? From the two-time plagiarist and paid shill for Russia, verified. There should be a special check mark for that on YouTube, on fucking Twitter, on all those websites. When you're a paid shill for Russia, or if Russia bought the ads, there should be a little check mark on the shit. Be proud of your treachery. You're taking the money, right? Until Vlad takes it back, son. And you know who I'm talking to. Brian Kilmeade. This is the other thing he said. Holy fuck! Again, Brian Kilmeade Revelation Day. I told you the facade was gonna drop, huh, son? I told you that, right? These Minnesota legislators were killed because of something local. They didn't like what Tim Walz was doing. Oh my God. He's equating one psychopath who killed these people with the whole constituency and the whole local area. As if they urged the killer on or something. Or as if that's justification. This man, within a few days or the same day, I don't know, went from let's involuntarily euthanize the homeless, just kill them, to those legislators in Minnesota were killed because, the locals just weren't happy. Oh my God. This is where we're at. So, he comfortable saying it. This is how far gone we are. Again, this is straight up mainstream television too. This isn't some fringe bullshit. And this See, the fact that this motherfucker still has a job shows you how far down the rabbit hole, or how far gone America is. How far the machine, Rupert Murdoch, the family that runs the business now, how far they're willing to take us down the fucking abyss. This dude just spouted open eugenicism against the homeless. And now he's saying liberal legislators killed by a right-wing fucking psycho. It's because the local community wasn't happy. Oh my God, they can't even lie and be cordial and be like how terrible it is that happened to those people. One psycho did it. Nope. Let's justify the killings. And that's after the eugenics against the homeless thing. That was before the shooting, by the way. Kilmeade said that. The eugenics against the homeless thing. I can't believe I'm saying these things to you people out loud. I can't believe this is reality and it's taking place. Again, none of it makes sense. It's like a bad movie or something where you suddenly realize that all these people in public life were Nazis the whole time. Like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something. I don't recognize hardly anyone anymore. So many people have just stopped being themselves and have become something else. But in regards to Kilmeade and people like him, they've been this for a long, long time. They didn't like what Tim Walz was doing. Or you could word it this way. One psychopath killed those people. Nope. Kilmeade gonna justify the killing by talking about a constituency because of something local. They didn't like what Tim Walz was doing. Oh my God. This fucking guy. God, I got a bunch more. Digressing too much. I'm going to skip that. Oh, this is Leon on a British kind of interview, and there's a demonstration, and it's right-wing MAGA people in Britain. Because this satanic movement has gone global. There are MAGA in Canada, there are MAGA in Britain, they're all over the place. There's a lot of crackdowns on free speech in Britain right now that you probably don't know about. Britain is starting to look like Donnie a little bit in some of their policies. Not as harsh yet. I'm afraid it's going to get there, though. So Leon was basically said what he's been saying over the days. You know, if they're going to come after us, we have to fight. And he was basically just inciting violence to this crowd of mostly men, MAGA British guys. That's after the post Leon put up. Again, this is the richest man in the world. He's trying to build something. It's called a Reich, and he's still part of it. Don't ever forget that. He's the guy who was co-chancellor on Inauguration Day who did the Nazi salute. Don't ever forget that either. He still has an agenda, and he ain't done with the world. He ain't done with you and me. He ain't done. I won't read that either. Who cares? About the Kilmeade thing again on the couch. The involuntary Lethal injection. This guy won't lose his job for this because it's his job to do this, indeed. The Murdochs have been part of this whole MAGA, this movement of right-wing machine for decades. They into it too, and it's obvious. And again, as far as I'm concerned, Fox, if you don't fire this guy or discipline him some way, then you must agree with his position. Not that I didn't know you already did agree, but now you're showing me. So that's what I'm walking away with. I know you don't care. You will in time, don't worry. Because this monster you've unleashed, called Donnie, he will devour all. You're included in all. Here's someone else commenting on it. A Fox host just said homeless people should be killed. People don't want the help that's necessary. You can't give them a choice. That's what the guest is saying, the other man on the couch. Involuntary lethal injection, just kill them. That's what Kilmeade said. Fuck out of here with it's the left. Right, you people, you rubes, you MAGA, you Nazis, you're saying the left is violent. Well, here's Kilmeade on right-wing, right-wing tube. Say, let's just kill the homeless. I don't know, sounds kind of violent to me. Very plain words, too. Just kill them. Again, I told you the facade would drop and they would get more comfortable and honest with what all this is. Yeah, the other guest, people don't want help. They don't want the help that's necessary. You can't give them a choice. Like, he's a cunt, too. He was saying horrible things. But Kilmeade took it to the, Adolf, let's load them on the trains place. Another comment about it. The pure horror of even having a discussion like this on a national TV broadcast points out how far we have fallen as a nation. Amen. Fucking indeed. I thought the same thing. I woke up to this comment. I was like, holy fuck. He said, I listened to it to make sure it was real. And he just matter of fact, involuntary lethal injection. Kill him. Just kill him. What does it say in scripture? They will call evil good and good evil. What an example. The pretty white couch. The expensive suits, the makeup on all three of them. The hair perfectly done. The pretty studio. The beautiful background and lighting. Looks all beautiful and nice and conservative, right? And Jesus-y, right? Clean and neat. And just like this person said, the fact that this discussion even exists on public television. We are done. Nothing happened to this man. Yeah, we're done, and the facade's dropping more and more and more, and they're just getting more honest about what they believe, what they want to do. And again, for the millionth time, this is not Alex Jones. These things are really happening. And I'm not trying to sell you snake oil. I wish that's all I was, just some grifter. Not in this that we're in now. Instead of being in this now. Even though I don't want to be a grifter. Because the horrors that have come and the horrors that will come, again, I can't express them enough. Again, otherwise I wouldn't be here stuttering and tired. So again, the fact that this conversation even is a thing. Here's another comment about it. Fox News saying to kill homeless people while simultaneously saying it's the left that needs to turn down the violent rhetoric, right? Stop calling us Nazis. Oh yeah, right on Fox News first thing in the morning. You know what? Let's kill the homeless. Adolf did it. You're a Nazi. How dare you call me that? That's the world we live in. What do you even base that on? For me personally, if you're asking me, Leon did a Nazi straight up salute. Even Nick Fuentes said he did it. Right wing ass Nick Fuentes. That told me all I needed to know, son. After that, everything else just gravy. Now we down to where Fox News opens the morning with, hey, let's just kill him. Involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill him. Just kill him. That's right-wing TV now. That's the Jesus people now. That's the left needs to stop being so violent and tune down the rhetoric. Don't call us Nazis. That's mean. We're not Nazis. Let's put troops on the street. Let's build some concentration camps. Let's have some photo ops at the camps. Let's make light of locking people up forever in CCOT. And let's talk about involuntary lethal injection and killing the homeless. There's nothing Nazi about any of that, right? Right, Rubes? Don't be Nazis and people won't call you a fucking Nazi. But again, it's not good enough that we sit back and watch it all being built, the Reich. They want us to dare not speak against it as well. How dare. Be that frightened where you won't even say, well, you just did a Nazi salute, man, so I guess you're a Nazi. How dare you call me that? But you just did a Nazi salute, Leon. No, I didn't. We're so gone, so lost, so over. So sad to watch. Involuntary lethal injection or something, just kill them. Whoo! And ain't no teenager that said that, a man that, that hasn't lived, doesn't have experience, might say something stupid as a young man, not realize the gravity of what. No, that's a seasoned veteran man who's been around. That must be just what he believes. Never grew out of it, huh? Random commenter giving you a timeline here. First he was trans, then he was twisted by leftist university types. That's right. The kid went to a technical school, and I don't even know if he completed it for like one semester, and they're trying to say he got indoctrinated there by the woke mind virus and liberals, right, Rubes? Remember that story? Yeah, that wasn't true either. Sorry. Then his dad said he is a leftist. No, his dad never said that. Then his grandma said he is a leftist. No, his grandma never said that. Then his friend said he was a leftist. And that got retracted. Then he had a trans roommate. Right, now we're on that. All of these things are debunked talking points the right is regurgitating. What's interesting is that once things get debunked, they just steamroll right through the next talking point. And when you debunk that, they skip to the next. Yep, they're going to find some damn way to get transgender in this fucking scenario. I know it. They'll be like, his third cousin, twice removed, who lives in Albania, is a transgender. It would be funny if it wasn't the end of the world and the country. And this is what's taken up our time. Dealing with the lies from the political machine. The MAGA machine, which is Vlad, the public relations firms, the other countries that troll, trying to start a civil war in America. This is what we have to spend. Rumors printed up at the Kremlin or wherever about transgenders. Or rumors by the Reich. Look, he wasn't a liberal. He wasn't a transgender. He doesn't have a transgender girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. Sorry. Donnie Jr. Not Donnie Shitbags. Donnie Cokehead Jr. He wrote this today. Anyone else notice that when one of our heroes was assassinated in cold blood, in front of thousands of people, including his wife and young kids, that not a single store in America had to board up their windows? Assassinated, you say? Donnie Jr. should do less coke. Assassinated. That's the president's son. I don't know if you know that. Isn't that impressive? And we're at the end. I heard some things about this kid, and I think this is true, and which is surprising again. Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's assassin, graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. Scored a 34 on the ACT. I assume that's a good score. Ranking in the top 1% nationally. Robinson received a 4-year scholarship to Utah State, but left after one semester for an electrical apprenticeship. So he did one semester at Utah State. He was probably never fucking there. And then he goes to the technical school. So in one semester, they turned him into a blue-haired liberal, right? No, they didn't. Nope. He dropped out. He didn't even finish. Which is a shame. Someone that age doesn't realize when you get a full scholarship to a decent college, that's worth a lot of fucking money, man. And it looks good on your resume. 4.0 in high school looks good on your resume. You can write that the fuck down. Your ACT scores, all that. So again, this isn't somebody. This picture of him too, like he's not a bad looking kid. Like he could get a girlfriend, like, you know. And again, but he got into that world, that 4chan, Pepe, Groyper, fucking bullshit world, and it's sad because it sounds like, you know, he had some shit going for him. What the fuck, man? And then there's his, you know, marksmanship skills. There are competitions for that. It's a shame, but no, this kid is not a liberal in any way, shape, or form. That's a joke, but he was a damn good student. I don't get how these things happen. Full scholarship, 4.0. Unbelievable. But again, the point I wanted to make tonight is he was not a liberal again. We've heard, let's go through it quickly and then I'll get the fuck out of here one more time. The first story was transgender ideology on the bullet casings. That's before the person was even caught, I think. I can't remember. That turned out to be a complete and utter fabrication. Even the comment about fascism on one of the bullets was from some fucking video game with an up, down code for something. So no, that doesn't make him a liberal either. He wasn't in the gaming world. He was in, the 4chan, the fucking, that whole thing. Discord, that whole fucking thing. And he was obviously into guns. So again, transgender ideology on the bullets with that phrase, man, I was like, oh my God, if rubes didn't exist, that phrase wouldn't exist for them. So that turned out to be a lie. Then a high school friend, or someone that went to high school with him, said that Tyler had become a lefty. That turned out to be a lie. It was literally retracted the next fucking day from the liars that put it out. Now, we're on the third major story about this kid, who initial reports said he lived at homes, but before that report, they didn't have the lies ready, but when that first initial report came out, they weren't prepared for that. They got to catch up now and realize where they fucked up is, I don't think he lives anywhere else. I think he lives with his parents. That was the first reports, that he lives with his parents. I mean, how do you think he got involved with his father right away? Because he went home to his parents' house probably after the whole thing. He didn't go home to his transgender lover and their pad. I assume that's how it all happened. And once the surveillance footage came out, maybe that's, they started discussing it. But initial reports where he lived with his parents. Now, again, we're on our third transgender or liberal or transgender story. But there's not really any sources for it. Just one lady affiliated with Fox News, I believe. So we're on our third attempt at trying to make him a liberal, trying to make transgenders responsible, evil, a part of this. And that will be debunked as well. Will that stop them from still saying it out loud as if it's true? Absolutely not. Will that stop Stephen Miller and Leon? They're coming to kill us. We gotta fight back. We will exile you. We will take your money. We will take your power. We will throw you in jail. That is your world now. That's what used to be America. That's what passes for America these days. Stephen Miller, the fucking ghoul, talking about exiling people. We're done. I'm sorry. I didn't choose it. I hope you didn't either. And if you did choose it, I hope you choose to get the fuck off the train at some point before it's too late. And you know when it's going to be too late? Good segue. When the mark comes around and you say, yes, I'll take that. If you say yes, if you take that mark, and yes, it's a coming, son, don't worry. You can tell by everything else that's happening. Oh my God, it's so obvious. There are no trade backs, take backs, change my mind. Sorry, God, I abandon you. Nope. It is the end of you. When the man comes around. You will not like the way things go if you take that thing. And if you don't take that thing, you won't like the way things go either, but you will be risen, son. So no matter what, you must say no. I didn't want it to be real. I wanted to be crazy. Unfortunately, I'm not. Sorry. I really wanted to be. Anyway, people, have a wonderful evening. As always, I'll put the PayPal at the top of the comment section for all to ignore. And I will see you the next episode.